Shalom, shalom, everybody. Today I'm gonna be talking about my favorite albums of 2020. And yes, this is probably my first video. I have other videos on my channel, but I mean they're like 2 seconds long. I just threw them together and uploaded. I didn't really care. But this will be like my first, I guess, real video on my channel. And because everyone else I know is doing it, like my Code Red, Mustard, PP. So you know what? I thought, you know what? Maybe I might dabble on it. So here we go. My first video, I'm gonna be talking about my favorite albums of 2020. And as you can see by the album that's already there is Tame Impala, The Slow Rush. Um, yeah, I love this album. It's the cool thing about Tame Impala is that it's one person making every song just by himself. Like when he goes on tour, he has other people coming along with him, but when it's just him making music, it's just one guy. His name's Kevin Parker. He's pretty good, but um, yeah. And I've seen videos of him. Like he has so much when he's making music, because it's just by himself. He's he has so much stuff in his hands that he like has to use his toes to switch a knob or something. It's crazy. But yeah. What I like about this album is well, I like all of other Tame Impala albums as well, but I think this one is really cool for its little theme about time. Um, and that's like apparent on like every song. Like the first song, One More Year, it's a bit the beginning of the year, and it's it's about fear. He like fears about never changing, but also fears when fear is or when change is near, and anxiety about that. And then a few tracks down, posthumous forgiveness about his dad that passed away, and he's angry at him, saying and asking for an apology that he'll probably never get, obviously, because he's gone. But and then the second part of that posthumous song, he talks about how he misses the time he had with him and everything like that. And then the next song, or not the next song, but a couple of songs down, Is It True? It's about his love for his wife or his partner. I don't know if he's married or not, but um, his love for his partner and how in the future he doesn't know where he will be or if he'll still love her. So, and then to the last song on the album, One More Hour, where it's like he realizes to live life to the fullest without the time limitations and um and then yeah, the last song's about like the end of the year. The first song is about the very first part of the year to the last song where it's the end of the year where he's asking for a little bit more time, but at the near the end of the song he realizes to live life to the fullest without time limitation. And yeah, that's what I like about Slow Rush. Very good. If you don't like if you like Tim Paula's other albums, I'm sure you'll love this one. I think Currents is probably my favorite out of all of them, but this one's close second. And Lunar Ism's pretty good too, but this one's good as well. So yeah, check it out. All right, my next album that I've liked in 2020 is two hip hop underground legends, Blue and Exile. They've teamed up before, but I have not heard their albums when they've teamed up. I've heard Blue solo work before, but not when they're together. And this is the first time I've heard them together, and damn, I gotta check out their other stuff because this is really really good. If you like soulful, conscious rap, this is this is you gotta listen to this one. One thing I was like skeptical about before listening to this album is it's that it's super long. It's like an hour and 30 minutes, which is pretty long these days for an album. 20 songs. And if you know me, I'm more of a shorter album kind of guy. I like maybe 10 or 12 songs at least, but this song has 20, so going into it I was like, oof, I don't know about that, but I was surprised. Even if when it's as long as it is, I still loved it. Like there's no usually one of like an albums these days. I feel like in hip hop a lot of rappers these days have like 30, 20 songs on their albums, and like it's very a lot of the songs can be filler. or just throwaways because they want stream money. So the more streams they get, the more money they get. So the random they just put random ass songs in their album sometimes. But this song, even though it has 20 songs on it or in an hour and 30, every song is very good and no filler. Um, the production, Exile is a producer and he's on this album and it's so soulful. It's so good. Some of the songs, like Miles Davis on this album, one of my favorite tracks on the album, is it sounds like a song that could be straight from Illmatic. It's pretty good. So yeah, I would check these guys out. I'm definitely gonna check out their other albums because this one was just really good. My next album on the list is an album by Phoebe Bridgers called Punisher, which is a indie pop record. Um, she this she has a song on this album called Kyoto, and if that's not the best song this year, then I don't know what is. If you don't listen to this full album, at least listen to that song, because that song is so good. That's my favorite album this year that I've heard. But let's get into this album. She has very dark lyrics, and but at the same time she makes it kind of funny. Like I don't know how she switches it around to make really dark lyrics funny, and she she talks about Dame's like about her life, but as it's like looking as she's looking at it from someone else's perspective, which is pretty interesting. I've after listening to this album, it's made me want to listen to her other albums, which I probably will, because this one was one of my favorites this year. So check it out. Boy, oh boy, do I got a lot to say about Logic's No Pressure album. When I before this album came out, I his last album, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. God, that was so goddamn bad. Like I was a big Logic fan, but like his last few albums before this one were so bad. Like in my opinion, after Everybody, his third studio album, Everybody, after that album, his music just went downhill. It went to shit. Like you could just tell that like his music quality after Everybody, even Everybody was just alright, but after Everybody, his music just went downhill on a decline. Like Bobby Tarantino 2, probably his worst project in my opinion. Youngster Notch 4 was just he tried to be like his old self, like his old music, but it was just so bad. And then Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, I don't need to get into because everyone knows that that's his worst album ever. So like I used to be the biggest Logic fan before those albums came out. Even when those albums were out, I was still a fan. But like every album he dropped after Everybody was just so bad and it was making me mad. Honestly, I was really angry at how he just declined in his music quality. Um, so like it gave me no hope that he would ever release a good album again, honestly. And then said he would retire. This is his last album apparently. He said he was retiring. Do I think he's gonna retire? Uh, Honestly, I didn't think he was. Like every rapper, there's been so many rappers that said they're gonna retire, like Lil Wayne or Jay-Z. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Lupe said it. Yeah, Lupe said it at one point. And then Lupe dropped an EP, just barely. Like, and Jay-Z obviously dropped. Lil Wayne still making music. He just came out with one. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, what I'm saying that like rappers always say they're gonna retire, but and then they always come back. But Logic said he's gonna retire, and I thought that like yo he's probably gonna come back. But after like seeing all his interviews and stuff, I don't honestly think he's gonna come back. I think he's done with music. And from this album, you can just tell he's just done. But yeah, this album, it's I seeing that his other albums were so bad. I was like, oh man, I have no hope in Logic anymore. But damn, this album came out and it's back to his good roots. I would say that seems like it's getting good reception from a lot of people, which is it makes me really happy because I used to be the biggest Logic fan back in the day, and Seeing him have one more good album before he retires is it's a good feeling for me. Bittersweet, you could say. But yeah, this album's really good. A lot of people have issues with Logic saying he has too much he writes too much on his influences like Kendrick. He sounds like Kendrick sometimes. He sounds like Kanye sometimes, whatever. But you know, and he rides on his influences, but he doesn't flip them in a way that's cool. He just sounds like them. But I don't think that really was apparent on this album. I think he really came to his own, in my opinion. Okay, Growing Pains Forward did sound like an Outkast copy, but that's fine. Um, Other than that, he didn't really sound too much on his influences. I mean, yeah, he sampled heard him Kanye's song, but I mean that he kind of flipped it to his own, which is fine. And yeah, I got this album vinyl. I liked it a lot. The one thing I didn't like was Perfect. The song Perfect, because it like did not fit with the rest of this album. Like you play the album and then Perfect comes on, and you're like, what the hell? But now that I've listened to it, like I've listened to this album a lot since it came out, and now that Perfect, when you listen to the album, Perfect comes on, it's a nice breather because like the rest of the album is really serious, but then Perfect comes on, and you're like, it's a good change of pace. So I've come to like that song more. Yeah, this is probably my favorite album this year. Because like I said, I was a big Logic fan back in the day, and then he started making so much bad music, it made me turn away from him. And then seeing him come back again is a bittersweet moment for me, to be honest. So yeah, that's why it's probably my favorite album this year. But yeah, let's get into the next one. My next album on the list is Modest. It's a pop record called Modest Vivendi by 070 Shake. And 070 Shake is an artist that no one really knew about until Kanye had her on his Ye album on a couple records, Ghost Town, and the last song on the record, I forget what it's called, to be honest, and she killed it on those songs, and I didn't, no one really knew who she was until that, and then, I guess Kanye found her and liked her and put her on his album, and so people have been waiting for this album, and I've been waiting for her to drop an album for since then, because she killed it. She also was on Pusha T's album, and I forgot what the track is called again. His Daytona album. She was on there because Kanye I guess, uh, told her to get on that track too because he produced that album. And first of all, Kanye killed 2018. He produced so many albums and his own. Anyways, I just had to say that was sidetracked, but um. Yeah, everyone was waiting for her to drop her own music because she was on Kanye and Pusha T's album in 2018. So, and then she finally did in this year, and it blew my expectations out. Like this before No Pressure came out, Logic's album. This was probably my favorite I've heard this year. But No Pressure takes the cake now. But yeah, best way to describe her music to me, it's like a it's like a female version of Travis Scott and a mix of Kid Cudi too. So very auto-tuned pop music. So it's not for everybody, for sure. But if that's sort of your thing, I would definitely check this album out because it honestly it blew my expectations out of the park. Like yeah, like the track Super Spaceship. My bad. Spaceship, my favorite track, Spaceship, Conscience, the very first track are probably my favorite tracks, and they're all good. Uh, what's the song called? Damn, I'm looking it up. The song The Pines, another bang, Under the Moon. All the songs are very good, and she remixed Guilty Conscience with Tame Impala, which is good also. But yeah, I was gonna go to her concert, but she was only 21 and up because it was at a bar, so I couldn't go, sadly. But would have loved it. Um, yeah, go check her out. I can't wait for what she does next. She has a lot of room for growing. Like I said, she does have like a similar sound to Travis Scott and Kid Cudi, which is cool. But I think she can grow that into something else, which is hopefully she can. But that's what I'm hoping for. And yeah, that's so check her out. My next album on the list, I cannot talk about 2020 best albums without talking about RTJ4, other known as Run the Jewels 4, if you didn't know. Um, this duo, which is Killer Mike and LP, have been killing it. Every Run the Jewels albums, because this is the fourth installment, Run the Jewels 1, 2, 3, and 4 have all been banger after banger after banger after goddamn banger. And goddamn, they did it again with this one. Goddamn. Um, they, these two guys, they're on their way to be one of the most iconic duos in hip hop. I guarantee by the end of their career, they'll be talked as the goats, as one of the goat duo groups of hip hop. Up there, I'm guessing they'll be up there with even probably even more than um. This might be crazy, but I think they'll be talked about just as like as the goats, just as Andre 3000 and Play or Big Boy from Outkast. Like they are killing the game right now. But RT was getting to this album, RTJ4. This album is, if there was a theme album for 2020, this would be it. This is 2020 all over this album. Just all the chaos we're going through with the pandemic, with the George Floyd, everything. This album suits this year so perfectly. It's just very aggressive, very chaotic rap. Um, Killer Mike and LP, they just go so well. They go very well together. And LP, he produces the album, and he also raps. They just they're they're such good. They go so well together. It's kind of I can't put it in the words. But yeah, they just killing it. Every album they've dropped. Every album they've dropped has been very critically acclaimed of critics. Praised by critics is what I'm trying to say. Um, like getting tens or nine or eights every time. And a lot of people think this is their best work. I If I had to tell you, I would say one or the first Run the Jewels or this one, their best. But it's hard. I couldn't tell you which one I like more. Um, but yeah, I mean this album is very politically charged with like everything that's going on. It talks about George Floyd and everything and all the riots. And it's crazy because they have a line in this that because this album was recorded before all that happened. And they have a line in this that like it's crazy how similar the situations are, and they didn't even know about all that stuff because it was recorded before that, and it's very crazy how it's very close. Um, but yeah, go check this one out. A lot of people say it's probably the best hip hop album of 2020. Uh, I don't think so, but I mean it is one of my favorite albums this year, so yeah, go check it out. One more thing before I go on to the next album, which I forgot to bring up, is that Run the Jewels for and every other album of theirs is very old school hip hop mixed with the new age hip hop we know today. And so that a lot of old heads can like this, and a lot of the new generation people that love this new generation of rap can like this as well. So they can all come together and have peace for once. So yeah, that's all I had to say. It's very new school and old school mixed together very well. And yeah. My next album on the goddamn list is Freddie Gibbs' Alfredo. Man, oh man, what can I say? What can I say about Freddie Gibbs? Freddie Gibbs has dropped classic after goddamn classic after classic with, Pinata with Madlib, Bandana with Madlib, and now we got a different producer this time. We got Freddie Gibbs with Alchemist, which that alone just is the fact that he's worked with Madlib and Alchemist is awesome because they're one of the go top. They're both easily top 10, even top 5 producers in my opinion. Um, that could be a video for another day. Best producers in the rap game or hip hop. I could do that, but for now, let's talk about this album. Alchemist, goddamn, he kills these beats. Good lord. And let me just say, if you had to ask me who's the best rapper of these new school and these new age of rap, I would say, I mean, Freddie Gibbs has been around for a while, but I mean, I would still consider him a new school rapper. But yeah, I would say Freddie goddamn Gibbs. He's if you had honestly, he's in the top 20 best rappers right now. I don't deny that. He's just dropped classic after goddamn classic, and Alfredo shows that he can just keep on going. Usually artists, they sometimes fall under, but God, no. He's still going at it. He's been at it for a fat minute too. Um, my favorite album song on this list or favorite songs on this album. Rick Ross kills it for one. The features, let's just get into that. The features on this album, Rick Ross, yeah, Rick Ross, Tyler the Creator, Griselda, the people from Griselda. Let me just say, Griselda is a hip hop group like with Benny the Butcher, Conway, West Side Gun. Cause Griselda have been killing it lately. Like West Side Gun's Pray for Paris just came out this year. Conway, I know Conway's dropping soon. Let me just say, and then Benny the Butcher, I heard is dropping too. But those three have been just goddamn killing it. But cause almost every hip hop album this year has had Griselda on it. One of those guys, either Conway, Benny the Butcher, or West Side Gun. Every hip hop album this year have had one of those people on because they've been just killing it, and everyone wants them on their album. But they and they showed up on this album and they obviously killed it. Tyler the Creator killed it. Is Joey Badass on this album? I listened to that album a lot when it first came out. It's been a fat minute since I've listened to it again. Let me just see something. Um, oh yeah, 1985. The guitar on 1985, the first track on this album, the guitar in the background. You're eating the best Alfredo when you're listening to this album. That's what it is. God is perfect. Uh, might check the chorus on that song is good. Scotty Beam. Um, yeah, like I said, Alchemist just Freddie Gibbs has the best producers. Like always gets the good producers. If off topic, but if Madlib ever did a album with MF Doom again, I'd probably freak out. But yeah. Anyways, check Fredo out. Freddie Gibbs is going to be going down as one of the goats for sure. And yeah, check this one out. Alright, my next album on the goddamn list It's a blurry picture, but I did my best. You know how I mean, how I do. In Code Red's pod, I can't find good pictures on the internet, I guess, because they're all blurry. But anyways, let's get into it. 100 Gex. This album's called 1000 Gex, and it's kind of a weird name. I always forget the name. 1000 Gex and the Tree of Clues. That's what it's called. Oh, when I first saw 100 Gex, okay, let me just say this is the weirdest album I have on the goddamn list. But when I first got into 100 Gex, I saw them open up for Brockhampton, and my God, were they were so weird. Like they wore because I didn't know who they were before that. They came on with like someone, the guy in the group, in the band, it's a duo. He was wearing like a wizard, like a Gandalf outfit, and that girl was wearing like a weird fairy shit. Um, and I thought it was the weirdest shit ever. I was like, man, these guys are so bad. When I saw them open up for Brockhampton at a concert, and like even people around me were saying like, because they're not very big. I mean, until now. Before, like when they were opening up, they were not big, but they've gone bigger now. But when they opened up for Brockhampton, even people around me were saying, "Man, these guys are bad." Like people were booing them off the stage. And then yeah, so I was like, "Damn, I'm never gonna listen to these guys ever." I thought to myself, and then fucking their album came out, and I heard a lot of people talking about it, and it was actually getting really good stuff, like reviews and stuff. So I was like, what the hell, these guys? How these guys making good music? But so then I just decided to check it out because I was curious. Not this album. They have another album called Thousand Gex, and yeah, a Thousand Gex. It didn't count this year, otherwise it would have been on this list. But this is very weird. Like I don't think a lot of people enjoy this music. They're very experimental. They like mix emo EDM music with fucking trap and rap, and they just mix a bunch of different genres together. And honestly, it's very, yeah, it's very experimental, and I honestly liked it a lot. And a lot of people did. So then that's why I checked it out, and I loved it. And then they came out with this album this year, which is just a remix of their first album. So I mean, I enjoy this remix of the album. I mean, I enjoy the like non-remix better. So if you're gonna check these guys out, definitely check their first album before this one, because I think it's better. So, but I mean, this album's still good. I just would have preferred them to do something new instead of just remix their old album. But I guess we get what you get. And yeah, I can't wait till until they make new music, because they are a crazy group, and I can't wait to see what they do next, because they paving a way for a new kind of sound. That's pretty interesting for me. So yeah, check them out. Next album on the goddamn list. Yeah, we got Mac Miller and Circles. Um, what can I say about this album? It's it's big boy sad hours, big boy sad hours. Because this album, as you know, Mac Miller passed away, and this album came out after his death. And I'll say this, a lot of, especially in rap, I don't know really any other genre, but that does this. But in rap music, when a rapper dies, and then they come out with an album after, a lot of the time it's not very good because it's just throwaways, or the album, or like songs that were never finished, and the record label just wants to, you know, make money off that, because they'll get a lot of sales off their death, and they'll just throw whatever song they have left of the artist. So like a lot of the time when the artist dies in rap music, I'm not saying this for every genre. A lot of the time, like XX Tentacion, I'm not a big fan of his music, but when he died, their record label just threw everything they had on an album. Like he has like 5 albums now. After he um died that came out, and they're just like songs that he never finished. You can obviously tell, or like songs that he would never release. And but I like Juice World. You can say the same thing for that with his new album that came out. A lot of people probably don't like me for saying that because Juice World is probably liked by a lot of people, but you can just tell that the record label just throws songs on. Um, and that's why I don't like a lot of albums that come out after the artist dies. But I will say this album is different. He actually was working on the album and it was pretty much almost done by the time he died, which is sad. But yeah, it's very different sound from Mac Miller. As we dive into this album, as you can tell, he's a rapper. But this album, there's only one song where he raps, and the rest of he's singing, which is a very different sound for Mac Miller. And he's not the best singer in the world, but he's not bad in my opinion, and he makes a good singing album. A lot of rappers, when they try to do something different, it's usually bad. Like when they try to sing for an album, it's usually bad, but this one's good. Um, it's pretty sad that because a lot of the songs are about him coping with drugs because he was very depressed, obviously, and that's how he died was because of drugs. So I mean, as you can tell by the album art cover, it's just like you can just tell by the album that he's kind of in a weird place. And I think that makes for good music, honestly. The space he's in, and yeah, it's probably one. A lot of people will probably have this as their album of the year, is my guess. So Mac Miller, check it out. Circles by Mac Miller, check it out, boys. All right, my last album on the goddamn list. Um, we got Denzel Curry with Unlocked, collaboration album with Denzel and Kenny Beats, who's a producer. Honestly, Denzel. If you ask me again, new school rappers, who you picking? Denzel would be one of my picks too. He's honestly he's probably one of the best new school rappers, and Kenny Beats. It's crazy how Kenny Beats used to do EDM music and dubstep, that kind of stuff, and then he totally flipped and started doing hip hop, and now he's probably one of the like new up and coming producers, and he's on his way to becoming really like out there with some of the greats. Like he's killing the game, and the collaboration with Denzel. Ooh, is this the album cover itself? This shows how good this album is gonna be. I mean, it reminds me of like old '90s like GZA's Liquid Swords or like album cover or MF Doom old album covers like that kind of style of rap album covers. It's just so cool looking. Um, and honestly, they Denzel and Kenny go well together. Um, there's not much I can say about this album. Honestly, it's just Denzel. He doesn't even write down his lyrics. He just goes in and just says whatever, like on the spot, which is crazy. Because not a lot of rappers can do that. But yeah. And then Kenny Beats has this show called The Cave where he makes a beat on the spot and rappers come in like any kind of rapper like Lil Yachty or like a someone like Rico Nasty will come in and they'll just freestyle on the beat he makes on that day, which is a pretty cool show. I would recommend that. But yeah, this album's amazing. The beats are killing. Banger Bob. It's like Denzel Curry is very aggressive on every song, and the beats just match with how aggressive he is. So it's just perfect duo. So yeah, this is probably my last album. I mean, I've listened to a lot of other albums I could put on this list. that I've liked in 2020, but I think this video is going on long enough, to be honest with you. I'll probably do a part two um, later in the year because I know there's gonna be a lot of albums that are gonna be dropping again, or because the year's not done yet. So, and I mean, I haven't listened to every album in 2020, obviously. There's still some albums I need to get to. So, yeah, I will probably finish it here. Part two will be coming soon, later in the probably at the end of the year, so more albums drop. And yeah, my next video I'll probably do a ranking of every Kanye album, least the best. Stay tuned, stay cool, stay fresh in the quarantine. You know how it be. You know how it be. Bye bye.